So today we leave Whitchurch and head through the Grindley Brook walks, at least.
Hopefully. Depends how many boats are backed up.
That's true. We might stop at the top of them and just be like, to heck with this. At the end of the day, we have spent too many days moving a little too much. You get to a certain point after probably about 4 or 5 days of kind of cruising and stuff where you just go, no more. Need a rest.
And we had a day off yesterday, but it wasn't really a rest. Michael went off touristing.
Yeah, a viewer, Brian, who we'd met about more than a year ago, had promised that when we got up here that he would take me over to an Ironbridge Gorge, where I could see the first cast iron bridge. This is the Iron Bridge, erected in 1779 of cast iron, and just remarkably light. I mean, airy. So much can move through it. No stone. Not sure I'd want to go around that with a heavy magnet, but you know, definitely pretty cool. So that mutated into, while we're at it, why don't we drive over to Cosford RAF Museum. Oh, there's an airbase and museum there, where we spent a bunch of time looking at a whole bunch of cool airplanes, including a whole bunch of rockets, mainly World War II era, and just a large number of British aircraft. I mean, it's funny because aircraft shouldn't really be a regional thing, but I learned mainly about American aircraft when I was a kid, probably because my dad was an American working with an American aircraft company. Lucky enough today, got brought here by a viewer to RAF Cosford, where I got to see a whole bunch of cool airplanes and rockets and an ME-262 and an V1 bomb and a V2 and a huge amount of British craft that I was less aware of, including these ones. It's a fascinating world of airplanes. As well as visiting Cosford and Ironbridge, came to the Newport arm of the Shropshire Union Canal. No boats on here. I'm being squeezed and punched, so I think we need to get moving.
I'm just tired and grumpy.
He's grumpy. Oh, yeah.
Grumpy.
So grumpy.
I was so grumpy last night. Michael came back from his really nice day. What to do?
Yeah, I was like, I think I shall take the dog for a walk.
And then I was like, oh, come.
I was like, maybe we should go over to Little, take a walk to Little. That'd cheer her up, some nice chocolate croissants and everything. So we got out, we started walking. We got there, we come back, and I'm like, nope. I shall just hang out here in the dinette and allow her to continue to work. Well, now I'm getting pinched. So, yeah. On the good side, we fed some baby ducks. We are ready to go. We just have to turn around, drive up the Whitchurch Arm.
Yeah, we're facing the wrong way. That's a dead end. So we need to turn around. But then when you get to the end, you can turn right, but it's quite a tight angle. And
there's a sign saying you can't.
Well, I suppose little boats could.
Yeah, very little boats could, yes.
So Michael's got to do a little back up, a turn around, a forwards, a right turn, another turn around,
yeah.
And then a swing bridge, a lift bridge. I always call it swing bridges.
Yeah.
And we're kind of undecided as to where to go today. There is some school of thought that we don't go far, but then we're 10 hours from Nantwich. When we get to Nantwich, we can have a good long rest.
Yeah.
Because we've got stuff to do there. So do we like have a good long push to Nantwich, or do we just have a day offish?
Yeah, and the push to Nantwich would be a very good one. We'd be ending up at like about 6 p.m. tonight, getting into Nantwich.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get all the way there.
So then the other option is to just get down.
I think we're going to play it by ear.
The Grindley Brook and continue somewhere towards Wrenbury.
Yeah, I think we'll play it by ear.
Play it by ear.
So, anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
So exciting.
Anything could happen.
That's awesome.
Anything is cool when you're part of it. It's not the song, but I'm modifying it.
And also, nothing's going to happen if we don't actually leave, so we should just go.
Yeah.
Just about to arrive at the lock, and there's no queue. Woohoo. Yesterday we heard they were queuing 5 boats back, so very happy. But we might stop at the Elf just here quickly first, and then head down.
One more time? What? Okay. So we got to the bottom of the staircase lock in Grindley Brook, where there is a lovely cafe where I was able to get a vegan Magnum and more Scoops ice cream for dogs. George is really looking funny.
He knows.
He knows. He's like, I want it. I want my Scoops ice cream for dogs. But he doesn't get it until we're down there.
Is that nice? It's all gone.
Oh my gosh. Where's George? Where's George? Where's... There's George.
What you doing under there, George? Hmm? What you doing under there? Oh, silly George.
are now in Wrenbury.
Wrenbury.
We arrived yesterday afternoon and we were tired.
Yeah, just completely exhausted. And we immediately went to the Cotton Arms pub, which I've got to say comes highly recommended.
It's really cheap and really good.
We got there for the Wednesday
weekday
weekday deal. So they've got the...
But we both ate and we both had drinks, and one of us had 3 courses, and it came to £20.
Yeah.
And it was good.
It was really good food. Like, definitely, totally worth the visit. Thumbs up to the Cotton Arms.
Yeah, it was a good cruise yesterday. Yeah, there was locks and swing bridges. Georgie! That's not your boat!
Come on, George.
He's trying to go in someone else's duck catch. Did anything happen on the cruise?
I mean, no. Yesterday was a long but uneventful cruise. Basically, we're just trying to get to the end of the Llangollen and back towards Nantwich.
Sure stuff happened.
Not much. We passed through a bunch of locks. We said hello to a bunch of people.
I walked a long way.
Cows.
You left me far behind.
I left you far
I
behind.
got a blister.
She got a blister.
Thrilling stuff.
Yeah, totally thrilling.
Today
totally exciting.
we've got 9 locks to do. We've got the Baddeley locks, I don't know how you say that, the Swanley locks and the Harleston locks. And then we turn back onto the Shropshire Union.
Yeah. This last stretch has been really from Ellesmere. It's been pushed to Whitchurch, and then Whitchurch pushed to here, and then from Wrenbury pushed to Nantwich. So
it's lovely, but now, because Michael needs to get a train, we just need to get back, so it just feels like a chore.
Yeah. Though it is the most beautiful shore. And there's been like cattle in the water. Now I have a little bit more of a clear feeling on why the water is the color of tea here, but sheep on the side, just rolling countryside. Of course there's the picturesque lift bridges and the various...
They're picturesque, but
they're bloody annoying, but they're picturesque.
They just seem to wind forever, and it's hard winding. But yeah, I thought I'd broken one. Not yesterday, the day before, because there were 3 boats and we were the first, so I did it, and then you're on the wrong side to get back on your boat, so you just let everyone else go. So Michael's disappeared off, like down the cuts, and I try and put it down and it just spins, like, because it's hydraulic, you should feel resistance. There was no resistance, so I went back and I went forward and I was like, I've broken the bridge, I can't get back, Michael's gone.
Yeah, my guess is you just pumped everything into a place where you essentially it just, by sitting there for too long, it just lost a sump or something.
Anyway, I kept winding in the down position, and all of a sudden the hydraulics kicked in and the resistance came and it started moving. I was like, phew. I didn't break it.
Don't want to break a left bridge.
Alright, let's get going.
Alright, so from here to there is 5 hours?
4.5.
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Alright, on our way to the Bo Diddley Locks.
Just as we left the mooring this morning, a boat moored a couple in front of us left. So we're behind that boat, and there's 9 locks, and they're going all the way to Nantwich too. So yeah, so we'll be waiting at every lock, I think. We just got to the second lock. there's a boat coming up, so when they've come through, the boat in front of us will go down and then we'll have to refill it. Maybe there's another one coming the other way, but it's going to be a long day. So I just got to the third lock and we were just about to fill the lock up for us to come down, and way off in the distance then we saw a boat coming, and because the lock's ready for them we just opened the gates. Hopefully they're coming in and not mooring up here, otherwise we'd have waited for nothing. But yeah, now we're waiting for them. They're still about 200 metres away.
Face is covered in poop.
White chocolate ice cream, cherry ripple and Oreo pieces. And then it's custard flavoured ice cream with burnt sugar. That's a vanilla ice cream, toffee sauce, biscuit pieces, pecan nuts, chocolate pieces and toffee pieces.
What's top so far?
So far the yum yum. One lick, lick. You don't get a bite. After a quick refresher at Snugberry's for ice cream, we're now passing through Bridge 1 on our way to the Hurlston Locks and the junction with the Shropshire Union main line. And I don't know how much of a line I'm in, but I just got a text from Joe saying I think there's only one boat in front of us. So that's at least going to mean we get down somewhat quickly on our way to Nantwich. Sort of traffic jam in the next two locks. We've been waiting for probably about 12 minutes now for a boat to come up the first lock so that the boat in the second lock can move down and take the place of the boat in the first lock. They're now, I think, switching positions, and there'll be a boat coming up in front of me, then I will switch positions with that one. It's a long wait. I'm not sure why it's such a long wait, because it doesn't really take that long to fill that one, but apparently today it does.
So we've arrived back in Nantwich, and our 4-hour cruise took about 6.5 hours. One reason it took so long is because we took a voluntary detour to the Snugbury ice cream factory.
Well worth the detour.
We weren't planning to go, but just as I was coming under, I was walking ahead, I was walking under Bridge 3, and this couple asked me if I knew if it was still open, and I was like, oh yeah, because someone had told us about it. I said to Michael, do you want to go to the ice cream factory? Which led to some Googling of
was it actually still there, because the people who'd mentioned it to you,
they'd been before, but they didn't know if it was
they hadn't been in years.
So they walked across the field from, I think it was about Bridge 3. We pulled up at Bridge 1, or just before Bridge 1 on the moorings, and we actually walked down the main road, which probably wasn't as nice a walk, but it really wasn't far, and there was a pavement, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
and oh my God, it was worth it.
Definitely busy.
We went up to the shop, and we especially liked them because they let George in the shop, but there's this long chalkboard listing all the ice cream flavours. My choice wasn't that hard because I'm always going to be chocolate or mint chocolate, and I went for Death by Chocolate. Michael had a bit of a harder decision.
Yeah, so I'm like, ooh, do I want Yum Yum, or do I want creme brulee, or do I want this cherries something? Or Delight, that might be it. And or Turkish Delight. Oh. Yeah, and I had to try them all, and then I was like, okay, I know what I want. I want the Yum Yum and the cherries, whatever. It was wonderful. It was great. It was well worth the price. Totally worth walking over.
So
I nearly went back for a triple cone.
Yeah, Michael nearly went back and got another scoop. Yeah. And then we walked across like a little field to see a big Peter rabbit, which was quite random, which led me having to tell Michael who Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail were. The other reason it was a bit slow is because we were stuck behind a boat that left just before us. So every lock we got to, they were still in it, which is fine. It's just the way it goes sometimes, but it just
did lead to a sort of slow and somewhat tedious day. And then we finally pulled into the Hurlston locks. We flew down the first 2 locks. Yeah, I was in the second lock from the top. You opened the doors, and I was basically just stuck there waiting for...
You said go and get the next lock ready, but the boat that went down in front of us was just sitting in it because there was a boat coming up the bottom lock. So basically there was a boat coming up the bottom lock, and then there was a boat in the second lock waiting to go out, and the boat in the third lock, us, waiting to go out, and the boat in the fourth lock waiting to go out. So
we were all sort of stuck in place waiting for this first boat to make it up.
And it just went so slow.
It was just so slow.
In the bottom lock, that's the one where the walls are coming in, so there's lock keepers on it permanently. You can't go through without lock keepers. So they raised it quite slowly. And then they couldn't get the gate open for some reason. And then they swapped places with the boat in the second lock, which took ages because he moved to the side to let that boat through, and then he just took forever coming in. And then I was on that lock helping his companion, crewmate.
Yeah.
I was helping them go through that lock, and she wouldn't let me open the paddle, which is fine. When your boat's in a lock, you do whatever you want. But she
cracked it open like enough to fill a decent sized sink, and it just took forever for that boat to come up. And I'd seen them having this problem getting in from the lock below, so I decided to push myself out into the pound and let him through as a let's just make it easier for you.
Once we passed them, it was quite quick again.
Yeah.
I was a bit moany this morning because we've just been going too many days in a row, and we just wanted to get back to Nantwich and not do the repetition of coming back off the canal that we'd just been up 3 weeks before. So I was a bit tired and hot and grumpy, and then halfway along the cruise I was like, just think about what you're doing. You are living this amazing life. You are, you know, in the middle of this glorious countryside. There's all these wildflowers on the towpath. There's all these butterflies that I've never seen before.
Birds in the trees.
Oh, I was so appreciative and lucky to be doing this, even though I'm really hot and tired and sweaty and grumpy.
And it got a lot easier to appreciate it when we saw this calf that was in this group of cattle at the side of the water there. I was filming all of these calf that are bouncing around in the field, and it was so cute. And then panning along, adult, and then this baby calf whose whole face is just covered in the poop of an adult. Like, they've just
wrong place,
wrong time. And I'm just like, well, don't think that ever happened to me.
Life's pretty good after all.
Life's pretty good. And he was just standing there, just like licking his snout, trying to.
This tastes funny.
Well, yeah. Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump off and go back and wash the calf off. I still feel bad about the fact that I didn't. So finally, we're back in Nantwich.
Yeah, we finished the Llangollen.
Yay.
It's now probably one of my favourite canals, although I would like to see it when it's not so busy. So
yeah, wintertime would just be glorious.
Like, it's just at the cusp of being too busy. It wasn't too bad. Like, there was a few places where we had to wait for 3 boats to go through a lock, but that didn't happen too often.
But there was definitely a few places where the sort of convoy of boats moving along was just a little too much. And I'm glad we saw it when we did, before it gets any busier. Yeah, before it gets any busier.
Yeah, it wouldn't come in August.
Yeah.
Now we need to decide where we're going next. So we've come back to Nantwich basically to have a few days off. Michael needs to get the train to London. George needs to get the train to London.
Yeah, George is going to a vet appointment.
Don't tell him.
No, don't tell him.
So yeah, now we need to decide where to go next. Do we go north through Chester up to Ellesmere Port? Do we go across the Middlewich branch and then down the Trent and Mersey? Do we go across the Middlewich branch and then up the Trent and Mersey?
Yeah, I think I'm biased towards either over to Chester, Ellesmere and the D, or Middlewich down and then back and up.
Finish the Trent and Mersey.
Yeah.
Back down to
Great Haywood. And then when we come back up, we can go to the Cauldon and the Leek.
Michael was very excited when he realised he could go to the Leek.
Yeah. I get to go to the place where they invented the Leek. That's pretty cool. There's also the place where they invented the stone down there, so I'm looking forward to this. Enjoy the short little shot of George and I enjoying an ice cream, because Joe thought that was, really funny.
That was funny. It was disgusting.
Funny. Yeah. I wouldn't normally do that except for the video.
You would do it.
I would do that. Right. So, thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up.
Comment down below.
If you would like to, you can subscribe.
And if you want to actually get a little bingly beep every time, hit the bell so that you'll get a notification. So, today we leave Whitchurch and head through the Brindley Brook walks, at least.
Grindley.
Whoops. To Cosford RAF RAF. Right. Yar.
I need some poo bags.
Yar.
Oh, I hate it when you screw them up. Like, why is this good to anyone?
This is where the grumps are in evidence. There are some grumps. Jojo wants everything just so.
Everyone should have things the way I want them. Like,
exactly.
Why does anyone think...
I don't even know how you fold these things.
Why does anyone think any other way is the right way?
Well, it's a decent point.
And why doesn't everyone automatically read my mind and know how I want things?
From my experience.
You're supposed to be my husband.
I am your husband, which means I spend time trying to read your mind. Yeah. In the long run,
I think that's where you go wrong sometimes. And also, it's counterproductive.
Yes. Yeah, no, because I mean, if I read it as clearly as humanly possible, I'd come up with two conflicting answers to everything, right? So, you know, I'd be like, oh, well, this is it. Okay. It's like when I get to go to France and I find myself in the town of Pizza. Like,
What?
yeah, I don't know.
In France?
Italy. Sorry. I'm so tired, I can't make a joke. Absolutely no reason to go to France for the town of pizza. It's like when I go to Italy for the town of pizza, was what I was going for.
But you go to Italy for the town of croissant, clearly.
Well, yeah.